Hi guys, this is Carl Harry Winston and you're listening to Through the Grapevine. Thanks for checking us out. If you're listening on YouTube or if you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much for finding us, following us, and listening to the episodes. So the last episode we dropped was 2 weeks ago, and that was with the fabulous Michelle Risley. So if you haven't listened to that yet, just go onto the Spotify stream or onto our YouTube page, or even follow us on Facebook Through the Grapevine, and you can listen to the links on there. So check that one out. This week's episode, I sat down with UK country artist and UK line dance artist PJ, Paul James. I travelled up to one of PJ's events back in February, I think it was the end of February, up in Blackpool. And he runs events, and so he runs a couple of those events a year in Blackpool. I was able to head up there, do a bit of teaching and DJing for him. And I was able to sit down with him, discuss his time in music, what he's up to now, the events that he runs, and his choice of music, really. And so have a little sit down and a little listen to my interview with PJ. PJ, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Do you prefer PJ or Paul James, or how do you like to be? How do you like to be called?
I've got multiple personality syndrome at the moment, I think. I've been called PJ on the scene for around 30 years. Started when I first did my own classes. I think I started the class about 29 years ago.
Okay.
And when I went out singing, PJ just didn't seem to sound right to me, so that's where I got Paul James from. That's what the PJ stands for.
Right.
And I've come to hate Paul James' name, and I kind of regretted that, so we've reverted back to PJ.
So you're now PJ again?
Yes, absolutely.
So you started line dancing first or music first?
Line dancing first. It was the line dancing that got me into country music.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, because it was all country back then.
So you started line dancing. Did you then start teaching, or how long were you a dancer before you then started dipping your toes into teaching?
Well, I first started dancing when I was 18.
Okay.
That would have been 1996.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly, if I do my sums correct. And Mum saw class advertised in a local community centre. And when it came to the day, she had got this mysterious headache, so me and my dad went along instead. And we've literally hooked ever since. So it was that got me into it. And that was shortly before the first Chance to Dance festival with the Dean brothers.
Right.
And that really opened my eyes as to how big it was.
Was that in Harrogate?
It was, showground at Harrogate.
Yeah.
Flower Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was December 1990, August 97 was the first Chance to Dance festival. And I started teaching in the December following that.
Right. So you started teaching, and have you dipped your toes into choreography at all, or has it just been teaching? Or
I had a bit of a surprise. I have written a few dances over the years, and my wife Laura actually looked a couple of days ago on Copper Knob, and I've actually written 47 dances.
Have you? So you're an established choreographer then?
Well, I wouldn't say established, but I certainly put pen to paper every now and again by the looks of it.
Nice. So you started teaching, and you have had your own club and classes for how many years then?
Well, I started teaching December 97, and I did one class a week on a Monday night. That quickly spread into two classes, Mondays and Wednesdays. The Wednesday turned into a sort of a dance club night. It was Eruption Line Dance Club many years ago, named after a dance I wrote that actually won a competition, 1998. Anne Napier in Scotland ran a choreography competition, and I won that with that dance. Now I run a monthly country music club in Durham. A couple of festivals that we took over when they closed. It was a festival I grew up with. Went to the very first one as a kid. It was on twice a year. Mm-hmm. And when it finished, I decided to step in and take it over, and that's still going today.
Wow, that's good. So that was going to be my next question. What area you're from? So you're from Durham?
Yeah.
And you still live in Durham?
Yes, just outside the city centre now.
Nice. I went up to Durham a few years back actually. We had family up there. It's a lovely place, Durham. Really nice place. Yeah. And so that has developed into weekends and festivals for you now then. So you run your own line dance weekends.
Yep.
And where do you run them? Because we're currently at your weekend in Blackpool at the Savoy Hotel, but you run other events around the country, is that right?
I do. The majority of the ones that I work at are country music festivals. So
okay.
I run two of those in Darlington every May and September. And we do February here at the Savoy in Blackpool. We do June here as well. We have another one over in Ilkley. Craiglands Hotel at Ilkley in Yorkshire. That's in September. So we do the 3 line dance weekends, we do the 2 festivals, but I also DJ, teach and compare at another 4 festivals a year.
So, other than the line dancing, then you also are on the country music scene as an artist. So you are like uber busy. And so, if the line dancing came first, how did you then get into the music side of it? And did you then start learning instruments after you started line dancing, and then start playing? How did you get into the country scene?
Well, I think originally, I've been singing for years at karaoke's. I've always enjoyed going out and singing after a few beers, and I just found I had an aptitude for it. I really enjoyed what I did. I never thought I would ever sing on the country music circuit, to be honest, when you see all of the people out there and how good they are. And I did one small set with a fella called Dave Inglis. I don't know if you've come across him.
Yeah, I've heard of Dave.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met him, but I have heard of him.
He's retired off the scene now, but he's very, very popular, particularly in the northeast, but used to travel around the country like I do now. And he very kindly let me do a middle slot with him. And I was just singing, and I remember how nervous I was when I was doing it as well. And I kind of made a promise while I was on stage doing that set that the next time people saw me, I would be holding a guitar. And at that point, I couldn't play guitar.
Yeah.
So a bit of a challenge for me.
Well, that's good though that you gave yourself a challenge to pick up the guitar and learn it, which is really good. So, how many years now have you been involved in the artist side of it?
Yeah, so my very first solo gig was in 2017.
So fairly recent then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought you'd gone. It was like earlier than that, but it's fairly recent then.
I have popped up every now and again. My dad showed me a video last week from I don't know if you recall the group Lone Star Country and Diamond Jack as well.
Yeah.
That was back in the days of Chance to Dance festivals and everything. I saw a snippet of a video of me singing on stage with both of those at different times, but that must be at least 20 years ago. But yeah, 2017 I started singing on the circuit. I did about 20 gigs that year.
Wow.
Doubled 2018, doubled again 2019, and then it all fell apart when the
COVID
dreaded C word came along. So
are you still as busy with the music now? Do you still do as many gigs?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, I was working full time as well as doing all of this stuff. So I was working from a laptop in the van through the day, doing the gig, and then travelling to the next gig, and then working from the van, doing the gig, and rinse repeat. So it kind of came to a head beginning of 2020. Actually, I was chatting with Laura and I decided I was going to leave work during that year.
Yeah.
Obviously, COVID had other ideas, so it's delayed for a couple of years. But I finally made the break just under 2.5 years ago. So I'm doing it all full time now and really enjoying it.
Oh, that's great. So country is your main sort of like your main thing. Do you have any other styles of music that you like or you dabble into, or is it just purely country?
I love all kinds.
Do you?
When I'm on the road, if I'm driving through the night, I might put a bit of classical on. I might put a bit of new wave or Jean-Michel Jarre, someone like that. Mike Oldfield.
Yeah.
I love the musicals like War of the Worlds, that kind of thing.
That's one of my favourites. I love War of the Worlds. That
fantastic.
album is incredible.
Yeah.
She'll probably kill me for this, but I took my wife Jo to see War of the Worlds a few years back. She hated it, and she was like, "Why do you like this?" And I thought, it's incredible. The soundtrack is great.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with the soundtrack. I remember as a kid putting the LP on in the living room and lying on the floor in front of a speaker.
And Forever Autumn in that soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah, Justin Hayward.
Yeah. So I didn't realise you had just sort of got into the music side of it, and so late in 2017. I thought you'd done it a lot earlier than that. But this year you have been nominated for a Crystal Boot Award for Performing Artists,
yes,
which is incredible. How does that feel? Was this your first year as nominated for a Performing Artist?
It is indeed, yes. So this is the 11th year in a row that I've been going to the Crystal Boot Awards. I never ever put myself into sort of that group of being somebody on the other side of the fence, if you get what I mean. I'm there as a customer, and I really enjoy it. But being nominated was really, really good, and absolutely chuffed to bits with that. And the thought never even entered my head that I would potentially win. I didn't even know I was nominated until other artists texted me, "Oh, congratulations on the nomination." So I had a look in and said, "Whoa, what's this about?"
Well, that's really good though.
That was amazing. Thank you.
I think there's a sense of achievement that when you love something and you love doing what you do, and you get nominated and sort of kind of put slightly up on that pedestal for it, you think, "I've worked hard for this." So, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I've got to say, right back at you. Another 2 boots again this year for yourself.
That's very kind. Thank you very much.
Fabulous.
So, did you enjoy the Crystal Boots last weekend?
I did. I missed the gala dinner, not because I like the food, but I think it just adds to the pomp and circumstance of the whole event. On the flip side, it was good that the awards started earlier, which made obviously social dancing happen sooner, because I think it used to sit till close to midnight before the social dancing started previously. But I do miss the gala dinner. I think it's a lovely part of the award ceremony.
Yeah, I think some people felt the same actually, but do you know what? They've tried to change it to suit the timings, you know, and they'll probably take the feedback on board, see what happens next year, and it constantly changes and evolves.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I totally understand how they've done it and why they've tried to change things, and it's I think it did work really well, but I do like that all, you know, because I mean, people join you on the table and you don't necessarily know the people you're sitting with, and the dinner is a chance to chat and get to talk to them, whereas if you're sitting down and then the awards are on, you haven't really got much time to chat.
Yeah.
And then obviously the social dancing starts again, so that's how I've met some really good friends over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found I didn't really do much social dancing last weekend. I always find at the Crystal Boot Awards that you see people that you've not seen for ages, so you're constantly talking and catching up and having conversations, and then the dancing is kind of secondary.
Exactly right, yeah. I mean, the Crystal Boots last year, Laura and I got married on the 1st of March last year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And in January last year, we met a good friend of Laura's, became friends with me as well over the years, and we're so lucky to have met her then. She was supposed to come to the wedding, she was too ill, and sadly she passed away shortly after the wedding as well. Right. So, you know, it's events like that you get to see people that you don't expect to see. You know, just randomly old friends pop up in front of you, and it's a great way to catch up. I didn't do much social dancing myself.
So you have an agency that you go through, or do you have numerous agencies for your artists?
Yeah, I go exclusively through NAM, which is MT Allen.
Malk, isn't it?
Malk Allen, yeah. When I first started singing, obviously I was working full time, so I didn't see the point in going through an agency. But when the time was coming where I was looking to leave work, it just made sense to me. And I've got to be honest, he's doing a great job. He's really looked after us. He looks after all his guys. And I've managed to get into a lot of clubs that would never have heard of my name otherwise.
That's great.
You know, so I'll be forever grateful for that.
Yeah, brilliant. So what are your plans now for the next couple of months? What have you got going on? Where are you? What are you doing?
Well, doing so many festivals. The first one is just around the corner in 4 weeks' time, Stanix Park at Silloth. We book the bands, and I'm compere and DJ for the weekend there, so I'll be up there for that. Yeah. I think I've got a cheeky gig in Prestwick the night before that starts, so I'll be up there first. Next week I'm away for 13 nights on a long run of gigs all down south and round and about. So
how does Laura feel when you're away for such a long period of time? And
it's hard to judge. I think she enjoys the peace and quiet sometimes, but I mean, she probably misses me as much as I miss her. I would like to think she does anyway. Yeah. But it's something that I've got full support from Laura.
Yeah.
You know, I was doing this when we first met, and obviously it is going from strength to strength. I'm a lot busier, I'm on the road a lot, and she fully understands that, and I get oodles of support from her. It's great. Yeah,
that's brilliant. Jo, my wife, is always very supportive. I feel like 2 nights away is long at times, or 3 nights, but you're away for 13. That's insane.
Yeah. I was going to say it doesn't happen very often, but I think I'm away for close to 14 nights 2 or 3 times this year.
Yeah.
And that doesn't count being away at festivals and whatnot. Luckily, for the festivals, Laura, more often than not, can join me for those. So it's great to have her by my side. So,
do you have all your dates on your website and things like that as to where you are and who you're working for? Or?
Yeah, I do a monthly update. I haven't gone too far ahead because things can change. You know, clubs fold. I get ill, so I've now put February's gig list up there. I think I'm doing about 20 odd dates this month, and that's all on Facebook and my website, which is phoenixevents.co.uk.
Phoenixevents.com.
.co.uk.
Phoenixevents.co.uk, and then you've got your weekends on there as well. The ones
it's a full online platform. You can book for the weekends on there, or just give me a call, and we can get you in.
Perfect. Thanks for chatting, Peter.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
and we'll see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Cheers.